Peace and blessings. Hello. Today is July 17th, 2026. It's 3:43 right now. I am currently on my way to a colon hydrotherapy session. I've done this once before, a couple years ago. I just read that when you haven't done it in a while, or if you've never done it, it's good to do it 2 to 3 times within 2 weeks. So I just learned that. And yeah, while I'm driving there, I wanted to just do an energy update. So I did a 3-day fast, water fast, starting this past Sunday. Today's Friday. Yeah, starting on Sunday and finished. Well, I didn't eat all of Tuesday, so like it ended on Tuesday. And then on Wednesday, I started juicing. I didn't just get straight to eating because I wanted to reintroduce food into my body progressively. So I juiced on Wednesday in the beginning of the day. That was my plan, but my job. So they order food for us sometimes, and if not, then they basically give us a daily allowance of $15. But if they're ordering food for us, then the allotted amount for each person is $20. And every day, if they're ordering for us, every day is something different. I mean, you can give your Rex if you want, but anyway, this day on Wednesday, when I started back juicing, I got to work and I saw that acai was an option, and I could not resist. I was like, I mean, this is kind of, it's still fruit. I mean, obviously it depends on what toppings I have. So anyway, long story short, I did get an acai bowl. It was delicious. It was good. It was really good. I did fuck up a little bit. It was also my coworker's birthday, and one of my other coworkers brought a whole tray of baklava. Because my coworker whose birthday it was, he said that the previous day he told everyone that it was his birthday, and so we were asking him what he likes, and he said baklava and some other things. And one of my other coworkers actually brought a baklava tray. It was like a whole big thing, and like enough for everybody on the team to have some. So I'm working on my vices, and I'm progressively moving towards a vegan lifestyle. I may have said this in one of my previous videos, but I currently can't say I'm vegan. I'm vegetarian with I would say like it's 50-50, but that doesn't really count. But it is like 50-50. Like a lot of the times what I eat is vegan, but sometimes if it's a dessert or something, it may have eggs in it. But I've been doing really good at looking at the ingredients and eliminating a lot of animal products. So, but this day I was looking at that baklava, and I know this was a test from the universe. but I ate it. I know. It was my mistake. But we live and we learn. I made sure to, it was a very conscious decision. I didn't just eat it right away, impulsively. I had to sit with myself, and I like to talk to myself like mother to child, and I'm both in this situation. So I let myself have it after a couple hours of thinking about it. And I told myself to pay attention to how my body feels. So this was the day after I completed my fast. So technically I was water fasting for, it was probably like 80 hours. So 3 days plus a little extra. I feel good. The water fast was not hard to do for me, which I've done it before and it has been a struggle before, but it's getting easier. I do 1 day fast, sometimes like once a week, which I'm trying to do more consistently, like every week. So there was one day, I believe it was day 2, or I think it was day 3. I don't remember exactly. I think it was day 3, but I woke up and I felt depleted of energy, which was really the only time that I felt like that throughout this 3-day fast. I woke up and I was so tired. I had to take breaks in between, getting ready for the day and stuff like that. I had to sit down and hydrate. And once I got outside into the sun and just moving, I started feeling better. So, but my job, I work till 12 a.m. This is not forever. It's just for now. But I work till 12 a.m. and the job is a driving job for an autonomous car company. So I'm sitting like this, the way I am right now. Damn, I missed my turn. Yeah, I'm sitting in a car for 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, and since it's a self-driving car and it's still in testing, it still be making mistakes, and it'd be stopping abruptly and doing uncomfortable behaviors, and that's why I'm there. That's my position at the job, to supervise that type of stuff. But anyway, all that to say, even though it's not a heavy labor job, it still is a job that is unnatural to the human body. And yeah, so on day 3 I felt depleted of energy, and I was thinking about not going to work that day, but like I said, once I got outside and moving, I was good. So that was cool. I have noticed feeling lighter and having more energy besides that morning. Even later that day I felt better, and in general, like during the fast, I felt energized. After I feel energized, I feel lighter, and I do feel like I'm slowly getting rid of toxins in my body, and that's why I'm going to this colon hydrotherapy right now. So yeah, and I have noticed, I wouldn't say I've lost a bunch of, I haven't lost weight, but I do look like a bit slimmer, which is cool. and I do want to do a 1 week fast at some point. But another energy update. I'm about to be at my appointment in a couple minutes, but another energy update. Yesterday I had a existential crisis. It wasn't that long. I mean, the peak of it lasted, I would say, 2 hours, and I had to go ground. My phone died earlier when I was recording the video, but I was approaching my session anyway, so it worked out perfectly. So I just got out of my colon hydroflush session, and whew, yeah, very interesting sensations, you know, but it's not painful. It's just unusual sensations that we don't feel on a regular basis. So, but it feels good. It feels so good to take care of my body. Like, I just love that. But yeah, the lady that I went to, she was very nice. It was my first time meeting her, but she was very nice, and I will definitely be returning to her. If you're in LA and you're interested, she's in the Valley, and her spa is called La Vie Holistic Wellness. She offers a couple other services. So she has an infrared sauna, and she also does the ionic foot detox, foot bath, which was my first time hearing of that today, but I think I am gonna do that eventually. So, but yeah, a very good experience, very nice, beautiful woman, and it just feels so good to take care of my body. So anyway, before my phone shut off, I was talking about my existential crisis yesterday. I did take a little shroom. I make shroom capsules because taking it straight makes me want to vomit. So yeah, I create shroom capsules. Speaking of capsules, this is what I use, capsule machine, which I want to start using this for making my own supplements, like just wellness supplements, you know, ground, like for example your ashwagandha supplements and turmeric, whatever it may be, wormwood and a burdock root. I need to look into if you can make that, if you can put that into a capsule, if that'll like digest properly and everything, because those taste so nasty in a tea, and I was drinking those teas during my fast. So gross. Anyway, back to the existential crisis. Yeah, I took one capsule, which is a microdose, but I think since I was fasting, my body was probably more sensitive, and it felt more like it didn't feel like a full-on dose, but it did feel like a bigger dose than when I usually take one capsule, because that's a very small amount. I ground it up and I put it in the capsule. So But yeah, I had an existential crisis. I went to a cafe to study yesterday, and this group pulled up and they sat right near me, and I didn't have headphones or anything. It was 2 moms and their kids. And you know, I try to be as positive as possible, not let people affect me, but they were obnoxious. Their energy was obnoxious. They were loud. No offense. No offense. I couldn't focus. And I think if I didn't take the shroom, I would have been good. Like, I wouldn't have been getting distracted by them. And especially if I had my headphones. But that was not the situation. So I got up and left. And then I thought to myself, I'm just gonna go study somewhere else. And it's like the restaurant was empty, or the cafe was empty, out of all places. Why are y'all sitting next to me? It's called magnetism. Anyway, where the hell do I go? One sec, please give me one. I need to figure out where to go. Okay, cool. So I think this is when like the shrooms started kicking in, and then I left. I was gonna go study somewhere else, and by the way, this is my off day. And as I leave the cafe, I'm just feeling the feelings that you get when you're on a trip. And I'm like, damn, I'm feeling this a little more than I thought. And low-key, I forgot I took the shroom capsule. But just observing the way I was feeling, I was like, it's the shroom capsule. So instead of going to study somewhere else, I went to a view, this hill, or it's really a hike. Like, it leads to a trail and hike, but it also has a really nice view at the beginning of it. So I went there and I sat, sunbathed, and cried and talked to spirit. And each trip I feel like I have a realization or acceptance of something, or just coming to of something. And yesterday it was, I don't want to be here in the US. I don't want to be here in the US. It feels so congested energetically. And I've traveled multiple continents throughout my life. I've been in different countries, and it's very different. It's very different, and I feel bad for people who have been in the US their entire life and never seen or experienced any other countries, like physically, not just online, but actually going there. But yeah, I just during my peak yesterday, I was like, I do not want to be here. I want to go back to Bali. I feel alone here, and I do have people here. But I just, not people that are having the same lifestyle as me, or, you know, doing the same practices that I do. And I also want to learn. Like, I'm not a monk or you know, advanced yogi by any means, but you know, compared to the people in you know, in LA and the US, that's what it feels like sometimes. But anyway, yeah, so that made me start to think, how can I travel? how can I travel the world? How can I travel the world? And this made me think of work exchanges. I need to turn the AC on. It's hot as shit, boy. And I started talking to Claude. Love Claude. And it put me on to a couple websites that actually are specifically for that, for finding work exchange opportunities. So basically, you'll work for the organization, retreat, or whatever it is, and they give you a place to live and meals, or whatever the agreement is, or whatever they're offering. So I have yet to look deeper into that. I did a little search yesterday, but yeah, and that enlightened me a little bit, because I think these opportunities are a few weeks. Like everyone is different, but it can be a few weeks and you can just come back home, well, to the US, if you don't want to fully move there. I would spend a long amount of time out of the country and even live there. But I do want to do like a tour and just be in different countries, not having to worry about money, you know. So that's something that came to my attention yesterday. But going back to how it feels congested energetically in the US, I'm so over it, man. Like, I'm over the facades. I'm over the fake shit. I'm over the industry. And I'm not even popping. Like, I'm not even famous. I'm not even like, things are very quiet for me right now, and I did that on purpose for myself, right? But that's the reason, though, because I'm just tired of the BS, man. I do dream about and strive towards a lifestyle where I can go back and forth, have my base here and possibly in another country. I would love that if I could have two bases, one in the US for commercial purposes, for, you know, music industry purposes, and a base in Bali, for example. There are so many other countries that I still want to travel to, so I don't want to like pick a base, like a second base, and I also don't have the capacity to do that yet. But that's why I want to just travel for now. I gotta save up my monies. I gotta save up some monies, and that's what I'm working on right now, so I could be able to do that. And I'm in traffic. I really need that balance of, you know, relaxed living, so my nervous system can be settled, and being here and working on music things, which I could do outside of the country as well, but I have a lot of resources here, so which I will also build in other places that I travel to, but things take time. So, and also the US and especially LA is definitely a big hot spot for, you know, anything entertainment related. In my case, music. But yeah, when I traveled to Bali last year, first of all, I originally was going for a week. I found a retreat online. I had never been to Bali before. Something was just calling me to Bali. And later on, in retrospect, I found out that that's a common thing for people who travel to Bali. Like, it's like you just have this calling when it's the right time. But anyway, I booked a retreat for a week, and I was gonna leave like the day after the retreat, or like the night of. But I ended up extending my trip 3 times while I was out there. And even the last time, I didn't want to leave. I did not want to leave. I left for music purposes. I had an event that I was collaborating on in LA and providing the studio for. So this traffic's so bad. So that's when I told myself I can't extend anymore, otherwise it would be, you know, disrespectful. But when I got back, I definitely wish I just stayed for longer. The first time and second time that I extended my trip when I was in Bali, I literally had physical anxiety in my body about coming back to the US. Like, I did not want to come back. And Bali allowed me to calm and settle my nervous system in a way that feels almost impossible in LA. Like, yeah, that's why I didn't want to come back and had anxiety about coming back, because I just knew the way that I was living in Bali and feeling and the things that I was doing, I couldn't keep that same lifestyle in LA, simply because that's just not how things are structured here. It's also an energetic thing, and it's also a geographical thing. It's also an ancestral thing. Like, the US is literally a country built off of trauma, and I can feel that. Anyway, yeah, but thankfully now I have new tools, new resources and knowledge that I didn't have before I went to Bali. And I've implemented a lot of things that I learned when I was there. Damn, I got off on the wrong exit. So, all that to say, my existential crisis happened yesterday because I'm tired of being here. And it's not like I want to just leave forever and never come back, but I do need a balance of being here and not being here, because this is not real life. I mean, a lot of people, you know, in the 3D realm, it seems like real life. Like, you know, you see what you see, that's real life, right? But nah, bro. A lot of the stuff that people do in big cities is unnatural. I've even thought about moving somewhere within the US, you know, some like in the suburbs, somewhere not in a big city. But I would just rather go to another country, man. Yeah, a lot of the systems built here, the you know, economy, the personalities, the food, farming, agriculture, just everything is unnatural. And that's why I start feeling drained and upset when I'm here for too long. So I'm gonna conclude it here. That was my mid-July energy update. And I'm working on it. I'm working on building a sustainable system for myself where I can do what I want to do. Once again, I'm wishing y'all peace and blessings. I'm sending you my love and light and positive energy. I'll see you next time. Thanks for tuning in.